Jared Gillian Show.
I'm Jared Gillian. This is the Jared Gillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. We're going to be talking about Target, the store, here in a second. 844-305-7800. So I was in Target the other day, and so I got this external hard drive and a Starbucks like double shot energy drink, and I'm standing in line behind this woman who has a baby. Baby's about a year old, maybe 15 months. Baby's behaving, and she has just a bunch of miscellaneous crap. I mean, it's like the Target thing. Like, you just go through and you just get miscellaneous crap. I mean, I'm sure some of it is necessary. She had like dinner plates, which she probably needed, and some stuff she didn't need, but it was just a whole pile of crap. I didn't see what she ended up spending. I'm just guessing it was probably $200 or $300, which is a lot to spend. You know, I don't want to like, I just, you know, you don't want to presume how much money people have, but everybody does this. Let me just say that everybody, you look around, you're in a social situation, you're out in public, and you make judgments about people. You see somebody and you say, yeah, that person probably makes $80,000, and you see somebody else and you're like, oh, that person probably makes $150,000. So everybody does this. I'm judging, so I'm looking at her. I'm thinking she probably makes about $50,000. I'm thinking she's spending a lot of money in Target. I'm judging. We all judge, okay? Leave me alone. Anyway, then she did something horrifying. She got cash back off her credit card. Now, it wasn't a lot of money. It was just $30. And but it's funny, you know, I've never talked about that before. It's one thing to do cash back off the debit card, but if you get cash back off a credit card, that's bad. Now, I guess there is some math involved because, look, if you have to pay ATM fees, then maybe it makes more sense to get it off your credit card. But, you know, there's a chance you're going to be carrying this balance on your credit card. If you get $100 cash back and you're paying 20% interest on that, that's more than the ATM fees. So I'm really not a fan of getting cash back on the credit card, even for small amounts. I have never done it in my entire life because it's a high interest loan. Anyway, I'm not gonna say this person was like a complete disaster or anything because, you know, she was, you know, very responsible. Good mother, very responsible, and I like to check out people's financial situations. But I think about Target, and I think about this phenomenon of impulse purchases. And how you walk into a store and it's you see something and you're like, I gotta have that. And I've done that like twice in my life. I did it once. I've told the story. San Francisco, 2012. I bought a pair of Prada boots, and I also did it recently. It was about 9 months ago. I was in a jewelry store in New York, and I bought a bracelet. Just, you know, gotta have that. But I'm not a big impulse purchase guy. I usually plan these things. Target. The other thing I realize about this is that some people just really lack discipline, and it's hard for me to understand. It's just not in my DNA. Like, to go into a place like Target and just be like walking through there and be like squirrel and seeing something and buying it. Like, it's just, I don't get it. And I forget that lots of people do that. Which I think is one of the things about, brick and mortar retail, which makes it still successful. Although you can do that on Amazon too. I know people who, they blow a lot of cash on Amazon. Same thing with me on Amazon. Like, I got to buy cat food. Okay. So I go on Amazon, I buy cat food, and I'm not looking at anything else. I just get what I want, and that's it. So I just don't understand this phenomenon. So, but if you're making average amounts of income, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you go into Target and you get rinsed for $250, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I guess the message here is that, and once again, I'm not the spending scold. I'm not. You got to spend money, and I'm not, once again, it's the big things, not the little things. I've never seen anybody go bankrupt from going to Target. Haven't heard that story yet. I've never seen anybody do that. Have not heard that story yet. I've seen people go bankrupt from buying too big of a house. I've seen people go bankrupt from buying too fancy of a car or taking out too many student loans. I've heard all those stories. I have not heard the story of somebody going bankrupt because they spent a lot of money at Target. Having said that, just around the edges, it's it's good to be disciplined with your spending. It's good to be disciplined with your spending. Actually, I sort of grade myself, and last month for me was a good spending month. I didn't blow cash on stupid stuff, and I find that oftentimes I do, and I'm in the same. I'm just like you. Like I make the same mistakes. But last month was a good month. I didn't blow a lot of cash, and I felt good about it. And you should try that. You should try a month. Let's say February. We're gonna cut expenses down to the bone, and you're not gonna make any impulse purchases. So that, I think, is a good goal. The last time I spent $250 in Target, I went in to buy something specific. I bought a vacuum cleaner. Bought a Dyson vacuum cleaner. It was expensive. It was $500. And again, I didn't buy anything else. I just walked out with the vacuum cleaner. So I generally don't wander around Target randomly buying stuff. About Target, Target's an interesting company. The stock has been on fire. It's down a little bit off the highs, but it's been on fire, and it's for precisely this reason, because people go in there and blow cash. Target is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I've been to Minneapolis once. I was there, 20 months ago. I guess it was May 2018, and I was there. It was there in May. I was there when it was warm. Interesting impressions from Minneapolis. It's a cool town. Minneapolis, since it gets so cold in the winter, like all the buildings have like these little habit trail tunnels like the hamsters used to have, and so you never have to go outside. And Target is one of those buildings. Target is legendary in Minneapolis for having really good-looking people working there, like men and women. They have the best-looking people in Minneapolis work for Target, and everybody knows this. There's also a Target store in downtown Minneapolis that is like the flagship store for Target. I went in it. So Minneapolis is a Target town. There's Target Field. Target Field where the Twins play, which is a great park, except for the fact that why would you build an open air stadium in Minnesota? What were they thinking? Have you ever gone to an April baseball game in Minnesota to see the Twins? Have you ever done that? There's literally like 2 feet of snow on the ground. That's madness. Now, the Twins used to play in the Metrodome. Makes more sense. Inside a dome, the weather is cold. It's bad. Why would you build an open air? And the people from Minnesota, they're just kind of used to the weather. Like when it gets up to like 40 degrees, it's shorts weather. So they're out there watching baseball. It's like 30, 40 degrees, and I'm like, man, you guys are nuts. Anyway, this whole idea, I think from a couple years ago that Amazon was going to put brick and mortar retail out of business. That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea, and a lot of people bought into that, and you missed some great opportunities. So, Target had to find a way to compete with Amazon, and they're doing it. And the moral of the story is don't randomly buy stuff on impulse. No impulse purchases. If you made it so that all your purchases were planned ahead of time, then you would probably be a lot better off. Again, going to Target is not how people go bankrupt. I haven't heard that story yet. Somebody went to Target, they spent $14,000 and they ended up in bankruptcy court. I haven't heard that story. But still, it's good not to spend money on stupid stuff, which should be self-evident. I have a theory on purchases. If you're going to spend money on something, make it meaningful, not crap you get out of a store. Okay? I'm doing something right now. I have a favorite artist, and he's from London. And I've been following this guy for 20 years, and finally I got up the courage to email him and ask him to do a portrait of me and my wife. And that, I will give up 5,000 trips to Target to have a purchase that is meaningful and something I really care about, and I'll have for the rest of my life. So, anyway, that is the kind of thing you spend money on. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
Jared Dillian. Now you know a rich guy.